Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. My name is Elena.
And I'm Jack. We are so happy to have you here with us. Today, we are going to talk about something very important, how to improve your English speaking skills.
That's right. Speaking in English can be difficult, but don't worry. We are here to help. First, let's go over some important words that we will use in today's conversation.
Great idea. Here are some key words. 1. Fluent. When you speak a language easily and without stopping. For example, she speaks English fluently. 2. Practice. Doing something again and again to get better. For example, if you want to improve, you need to practice. 3. Confidence. Believing in yourself and not feeling shy or afraid. For example, speaking with confidence helps you sound better. 4. Pronunciation. The way you say words. For example, his pronunciation is very clear. 5. Conversation. Talking with another person. For example, we had a long conversation about English.
Now that we know these words, let's start talking about improving speaking skills. Jack, what do you think is the most important thing for learning to speak English?
I think practice is the most important thing. The more you practice, the better you will get. Some people feel shy or afraid to speak, but the best way to improve is to start speaking as much as possible.
That's true. If you only study grammar and vocabulary, but never speak, you won't improve your speaking skills. You need to use the language.
Exactly. One great way to practice is by talking to yourself. It may sound funny, but it helps a lot. For example, you can describe what you are doing. If you are making tea, you can say, "Now I am boiling water. I will add the tea bag."
That's a great tip. Another way to practice is by speaking with friends who also want to learn English. You don't need to be perfect, just try to communicate.
Yes. And if you don't have a friend to practice with, you can record yourself speaking. Then, listen to your voice and try to improve your pronunciation.
That's a really good idea. Also, listening to English helps a lot. When you listen to native speakers, you learn how they pronounce words and how they form sentences.
Right. Watching movies, listening to podcasts, and even singing songs in English can help you improve your speaking.
And don't forget confidence. Many people are afraid of making mistakes, but mistakes are a part of learning. If you make a mistake, don't feel bad, just keep going.
Yes, even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. The important thing is to keep speaking and keep learning.
That's so true, Jack. Mistakes are completely normal, and they actually help us learn. If we never made mistakes, we wouldn't improve. The key is to keep trying and not be afraid.
Exactly. And one way to feel less afraid is to start with simple sentences. You don't need to use difficult words or long sentences. Just focus on clear and simple communication.
Yes, for example, if you are in a cafe and want to order coffee, you can say, "Can I have a coffee, please?" You don't need to say something complicated like, "I would like to request a cup of coffee to enjoy this morning." Simple is best.
That's a great example. Simple sentences help you feel more confident. And when you feel comfortable with short sentences, you can start using longer ones.
Another thing that helps is repeating common phrases. If you hear native speakers saying a phrase often, try to repeat it. For example, if someone says, "That sounds great," you can start using it too.
Yes, and sometimes it helps to copy the way native speakers say things. This is called shadowing, when you listen to someone and repeat what they say at the same time. It helps with pronunciation and fluency.
Oh, I love shadowing. You can do it with movies, TV shows, or even YouTube videos. Just listen and try to speak at the same time as the person.
That's a great way to improve. And speaking of pronunciation, another helpful tip is to slow down when you speak. Many learners try to speak too fast, but speaking slowly makes it easier to pronounce words correctly.
That's a very important tip. When you speak too fast, you can make more mistakes. But if you speak slowly and clearly, people will understand you better.
Exactly. And here's something interesting. Even native speakers don't always speak fast. If you watch news reporters, teachers, or public speakers, you will notice they speak slowly and clearly.
That's true. So if you're learning English, don't feel like you need to rush. Just focus on speaking clearly.
And don't forget to enjoy the process. Learning a language should be fun. If you enjoy it, you will learn faster.
That's such an important point, Jack. When you enjoy learning, it doesn't feel like hard work. That's why finding fun ways to practice speaking is a great idea.
Yes! If you like music, you can sing along to English songs. If you enjoy watching movies, try repeating some lines from your favorite scenes.
And if you like games, you can play word games or practice speaking with AI apps. Some apps let you have a conversation in English, which is great for practicing.
That's a great idea. And here's another tip: try thinking in English. Many learners translate from their own language to English in their heads, but this takes time. If you start thinking in English, you will speak more naturally.
That's so true at first. It might be difficult, but you can start with simple thoughts. For example, instead of thinking, I need to go to the store in your own language and then translating it, just think it directly in English.
Yes! And when you make this a habit, speaking English will become easier and faster.
Another great way to improve is by asking questions in conversations. When you ask questions, it keeps the conversation going, and you get more speaking practice.
That's a smart tip. For example, if someone says, I went to the beach, you can ask, oh, how was it? Or what did you do there? This makes the conversation longer.
Yes, and it also helps you learn new words because you listen to what the other person says.
That's right. Speaking is not just about talking, it's also about listening and responding. The more you practice, the more natural it feels.
Exactly, Jack. Speaking is like a two-way street to talk, but you also listen and respond. When you really listen to others, you learn new words, phrases, and even the natural rhythm of English.
That's true. And when you don't understand something, don't be afraid to ask. You can say, can you repeat that? Or what does that mean? This helps you stay in the conversation and learn at the same time.
Yes, many learners feel shy about asking questions, but it's completely normal. Even native speakers ask questions when they don't understand something.
That's a great point. And speaking of confidence, another helpful tip is to remind yourself that making mistakes is okay. Sometimes learners are afraid of saying something wrong, but mistakes actually help you get better.
Yes, and most people will understand you even if you make small mistakes. The most important thing is to communicate.
Exactly. If you don't know a word, try to explain it in a different way. For example, if you don't remember the word umbrella, you can say, it's something you use when it rains. This helps keep the conversation going.
That's such a useful skill. And another thing that helps is using body language. Sometimes gestures and facial expressions can help explain what you mean, even if you don't know the perfect words.
That's right. Speaking is more than just words, it's about communication. If you stay confident, listen well, and keep practicing, your speaking skills will improve faster than you think.
That's so true, Jack. Speaking isn't just about words, it's about expressing yourself and making connections. When you focus on communication instead of perfection, speaking becomes much easier.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the more comfortable you will feel. Speaking every day, even for a few minutes, makes a big difference over time.
Yes, let's quickly go over the key points we talked about today. First, practice is the most important thing. The more you speak, the better you will become.
That's right. We also talked about confidence. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes help you learn, and people will still understand you.
Another important tip is to listen carefully. Pay attention to how native speakers talk and try to copy their pronunciation and phrases.
Yes, and don't forget to think in English. It helps you speak faster and more naturally.
We also shared some fun ways to practice talking to yourself using shadowing, asking questions in conversations, and even using body language.
All of these small habits can help you improve your speaking skills over time. The most important thing is to keep going and enjoy the process.
That's right, and we want to remind you learning English is a journey. Keep practicing, stay confident, and don't be afraid to speak. You are improving every day.
Yes, and if you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like it, leave a comment, and share it with your friends and family.
We would love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments what is your favorite way to practice speaking English.
Thank you so much for listening. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye, everyone. Keep speaking English and have fun.